As the world burned, the laboratories of the great powers became the birthplace of science fiction. The Allies and the Axis weren't just fighting for territory anymore. They were fighting to conquer the sound barrier, the edge of space, and the very concept of flight. These are the paper projects that came to life: the flying wings, the rocket-powered interceptors, and the vertical climb nightmares. Some were brilliant, some were suicidal, and all of them were top secret. From the American Flying Pancake to the German Batwing stealth jet, this is the final frontier of World War II aviation. The Horten Ho-229, the world's first flying wing jet. Decades before the B-2 stealth bomber, two German brothers built a plane that looked like it belonged in the 21st century. No tail, no fuselage, just one giant, a lethal wing. First, the flying wing. By removing the tail and fuselage, the Horten brothers eliminated massive amounts of drag. This allowed the twin Jumo jet engines to push the plane to nearly 600 miles per hour. Second, accidental stealth. The plane was built from a mixture of plywood and charcoal glue. Modern tests suggest this combination, along with its smooth shape, made it almost invisible to early Allied radar. If it had gone into mass production, London would have had zero warning before the bombs fell. Third, the heavy hitters. It was designed to carry two 1,000-kilogram bombs and two 30-millimeter cannons. It was a ghost with a sledgehammer, a machine so advanced that the U.S. military rushed to capture the prototypes before the Soviets could find them. The Vought XF-5U. The Flying Pancake. While Germany went for wings, the U.S. Navy experimented with a circle. This was America's answer to the need for a plane that could take off from almost anywhere. First, the unique geometry. The entire body of the aircraft was a wing. This flat disk design allowed it to fly at incredibly low speeds, down to 40 miles per hour, without stalling. It could almost hover like a helicopter. Second, the high-speed paradox. Despite its clumsy look, the Pancake was designed to hit 450 miles per hour. It used two massive propellers at the very tips of the wings, which neutralized the drag-inducing vortices that slowed down traditional planes. Third, the woodite armor. It was built from woodite, a specialized sandwich of balsa wood and aluminum. It was incredibly tough and lightweight. Though the project was canceled as the jet age took over, it remains one of the most aerodynamic shapes ever tested by the Navy. The Bachem Ba-349, the Natter, the vertical launch rocket interceptor. As Allied bombers pulverized German cities, the Luftwaffe grew desperate. Their solution? A wooden rocket that launched vertically like a missile, piloted by a human. First, the vertical launch. The Natter didn't need a runway. It launched from a pole, reaching 30,000 feet in mere seconds. It was designed to intercept bombers before they even knew it was there. Second, the nose full of rockets. It didn't have machine guns. The nose was packed with 24 high-explosive rockets. The pilot would fly into the middle of a bomber formation, unleash the entire salvo, and then, in theory, bail out. Third, the one-way mission. The Natter was semi-disposable. After the attack, the pilot and the engine would separate and parachute down. It was a terrifying gamble of engineering that proved the Axis was willing to risk everything for one last strike. The Arado R-234, the Blitz, the world's first jet-powered bomber. While the Me-262 was fighting in the air, the Arado was proving that jets could deliver destruction to the ground with total impunity. First, the unreachable recon. The Arado was so fast that no Allied fighter could catch it. For months, it flew over the Allied invasion beaches in Normandy, taking high-resolution photos while Spitfires and Mustangs watched helplessly from thousands of feet below. Second, the automatic bombing. It featured the BZA bombing computer, which allowed the pilot to drop bombs with incredible accuracy while flying at 500 miles per hour. Third, the specialized landing. To save weight and space, the early versions had no landing gear, only a jettisonable trolley for takeoff and skids for landing. It was the peak of specialized jet development, a harbinger of the modern tactical bomber. These were the machines that lived on the edge of the impossible. They represent a moment in history when the desperate need for victory pushed human imagination to its breaking point. Many of these planes never saw combat, but their DNA lives on in the stealth bombers, the vertical launch jets, and the supersonic rockets of today. The war ended in 1945, but the technology born in these secret hangars changed the world forever. I subscribe to conclude our journey through the engines of history. This was the Sky Armada.